the spot. Okay, everybody, burning hot. Everybody, as usual, it's another car chronicle, and this time it kind of stems from a couple of things. I was having a conversation with my co-partner in Arctime House of Kicks Network, and it also stems from the fact that in my house right now, I'm the kitchen light. I changed, it's got those long fluorescent tubes, and I changed them out, and they still didn't work. They kept flickering, and so I did a little bit of research on it. I was like, well, I'll go ahead and call it an electrician. And then I remembered, you know what? I'm an electrician. I used to fix the electrical systems on F-14 airplanes. I was in the Navy. I'm an electrician. I should just do this myself. And and it reminded me of something. I'll show you what this thing looks like while I'm driving. This, just so you see it. See, that's the wires. That's a ballast, right? So the light is flickering, so it won't come on full. It won't come all the way on. And I have to change out the ballast. So I'm going to go and hit up a Home Depot. But let me get to my point for today's car chronicle. I was talking with my co-partner, and last night he sent me a link to a song, and the song was about David and Goliath. And the reason he sent it was because he was telling me, hey man, we need to have patience and not worry so much about what the future is going to bring, because if you have faith, things will work out. And that video, or that song that he sent me, it was so timely, because I realized that what everyone does, even me included, is when we're doing something, what we expect is such an immediate result, that when we don't have that immediate result, we lose faith. And when we lose faith, well, basically once you lose faith, that's it. You can say that you believe something is going to happen, but it's not going to happen, because once you lose faith, it's a wrap. It's over. So, you might as well just say, let me move on to the next thing and regroup. But then that also reminded me of something else. It reminded me that being an electrician, you have to take wires and you have to splice them together sometimes. Sometimes you have to take a connection and you have to take a wire and solder it onto something. Soldering is the process of using a soldering iron that's it's a heated tip, and you can connect the wire to a circuit board, right, or to something. And the process of soldering takes time, and sometimes you can end up with what's called a cold solder joint, right? And a cold solder joint, it's not shiny, it's gray, it's dull, and the circuit doesn't work if you do the soldering incorrectly. So you have to take your time. And I was talking to my co-partner, and I said it's the same thing as a person who's welding. Because I have to fix the ballast, I'm thinking about this. It's the same thing for a person who's welding. You can't sit there and take your blowtorch out and begin to weld for 5 seconds and think that you have a joint that's going to hold and be strong enough. You have to sit there and take your time. Just like David. So here's David, and he walks on this battlefield, and he's got a sling. And what everybody remembers is that David walked on the battlefield, he took the sling, and he threw the stone, and he hit Goliath, and Goliath fell down. And most of the time when people tell that story, even in a church or another setting, when people tell that story, they leave out the fact that that was not the end of it. David had to take a sword and then go and decapitate Goliath. And then the story was over. But that's not even the end of the story, because he had to show that he had accomplished his goal. When you're doing a business, when you're making a relationship, when you're making something in life that's important to you, you think of it in terms of soldering. You don't want to make a cold solder joint. You think of it in terms of welding in the same way. You have to spend your time and take your time with that joint to make sure it's strong enough to hold. When you walk on a battlefield, just because you have your sling and you have your stone and you throw it the right way, the job isn't done until you completely take the head off of the issue. Everyone has to learn how to be patient and have faith. And really that's the point. I mean, and this is going a little bit longer than the usual ones, but I think you guys get what I'm saying, man. Be patient, have faith, and believe in what you're doing. If you do, you don't have to sit up there and stress out and worry. That's the point. I appreciate you guys for watching. I saw the numbers were going up on some of them, and I appreciate that. As far as the subscription, I don't ask people to subscribe. You can take your time and, you know, you can decide to subscribe and check out everything. But man, I appreciate you guys that are watching. I hope it's like kind of helping you, and because it's definitely helping me to sit here in the car and talk and run my mouth. But that's it. Peace, y'all.